Hey guys, Prodigy Sim here. I wanted to do another quick video on how to do some reverse engineering task. Today we're going to look at opening the server binaries, specifically the Linux server binaries for Left 4 Dead 2 in Ghidra. I wanted to start all the way with how to actually get the server binaries because there's some pretty neat tricks you can do to do that without having to like set up a source DS server. There's a tool called Depot Downloader. This is at github.com/steamre/depot downloader. You can just go over to the right and do releases to download it. This is a third-party tool that lets you download like game files from Steam without having to run any, Valve software basically. So you can just download the latest release. It's just a zip file. You extract it to a folder and then you run it from that folder. It's not an installer or anything. I already have it downloaded. I have a folder, I just extracted it in my downloads under Depot Downloader. It comes with a depot downloader.bat, which is your main executable. So then you're going to go into a command prompt there, and to download Left 4 Dead 2, you're going to start with depot downloader.bat, and then you're going to need to know the app ID and the depot ID of the Left 4 Dead 2 dedicated server. So to find that, I usually search on steamdb.info to find this. I already have it pulled up here. The Left 4 Dead 2 dedicated server, which is available without being logged in or owning the game on Steam, is app ID 222860. And additionally, there's depots. So we're just going to start putting in our command here. I'm going to move this over to the side. We're going to do -app 222860. And then within that app, if you just tell it to download this app, it's going to download the Windows dedicated server, the Linux dedicated server, and like all of the shared content, which is the entire game. So usually if you just want to look at the server DLLs or server binaries, you don't need to download all of it. You can do the specific one. So today I'm going to be doing Linux dedicated server content. So I'm going to grab -depot 222863. And then additionally, I think you have to add login anonymous, which says that you're not going to use a Steam account to do this download. You're just going to go anonymous, and that will work on the dedicated server repo. So you can't use this to download, paid games. So when you do that, it's going to do a bunch of stuff. It's going to download it. I already had it downloaded, so it went pretty fast. It just validated what I had downloaded, I believe. But yeah, it's just going to put it into a folder called depots right within wherever you ran it. And then you can see here I've got a bunch of depots downloaded. And again, using this mapping from the steamdb.info, we know that 222863 is our Linux binaries. And then there's a bunch of folders again. If you run this for the first time, you'll only see one folder. These are different versions of the Left 4 Dead 2 dedicated server. So I've actually grabbed like 6 different versions over the past week or so. But the latest one you can see was downloaded today, 10.3. So if you go into that, you'll see that you have source.ds Linux, source.ds run. You've got a Left 4 Dead 2 folder that just has bin, and there you have your server.so. I also have it open in IDA, so there's some extra stuff there. But next, I wanted to show how to actually open this up in Ghidra. So if you have Ghidra again, I'm not going to show you where to download it, but it's just another download it. It gives you a batch file to run it because it's in Java or something. So you load up Ghidra, and then you'll get a screen that looks something like this, that lets you set up an active project or something. I don't know if any of that matters. And I've got a bunch of different versions of the server binary here, but I'm gonna go ahead and just drag over into this window the server SO from the version I'm looking at. And it's gonna ask me questions about it. I'm gonna give it a name here because I keep forgetting to do this. But this is 22203, or you could do the current date or this like version number, just something to keep track of which version it is. Renaming it here, I don't think does anything to the file. It just names it in your project. So I'm going to call it server 22203. So hit OK. It's going to import it, start doing a bunch of things. So I have been using IDA in the past for doing reverse engineering of Left 4 Dead stuff, but Ghidra is free, has a built-in decompiler, and so there's a lot of reasons to maybe consider using Ghidra for some of the stuff we used IDA for. So this is just giving some info about that file. Doesn't matter. Now we see the file in our list for our active project. I'm just going to double click on it. It's going to load up the Dragon guy, which I believe is the code browser. It's going to say it hasn't been analyzed, and there's an important step coming up here. We're going to tell it we want it to analyze it, and then it's going to give us some options. And one of these options in particular, you need to turn off for Left 4 Dead 2 dedicated server. And I believe this is the moment of truth where we find out if I should have looked this up ahead of time, but I believe it's non-returning functions discovered. Yes, turn off non-returning functions discovered. There's a problem with the analysis because of, I don't know what convention, something that the Left 4 Dead 2 server binary does, that Ghidra tends to find a bunch of non-returning functions, and it really ruins the auto analysis. So we're going to go ahead and uncheck that and let it start analyzing. Now this takes a lot longer in Ghidra, I've noticed, than it does in IDA. Maybe it's being more thorough, I don't know what, but we're going to have to sit here and wait for a while. And so while we wait for that, I'm going to go and double check that I did the right thing. Okay, yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the right option. Discovering non-returning functions is the problem. There's basically a GitHub issue. You can read about this on Ghidra's thing where it talks about the issue. Basically what happens is you start seeing function calls that immediately say flow override, call return, call terminator after them. If you're seeing that, there's a way you can like manually change the flow override. What happens is like all of these bytes down here are probably continuations of a function, but for whatever reason Ghidra thinks that the function call ends after this like subroutine call, and it stops analyzing the rest of the function. So by turning on, and there's a recommendation in here somewhere where it says, somebody says before we're analyzing you can turn off the discover non-returning functions analyzer and try that out, and I tried that out and it seemed to work for me. Now my analysis is still going super long. Ghidra does take a long time to do this, so this is normally like a go AFK and forget about it and try again later sort of a thing. So as far as its progress, like all of its work in progress is being shown in the bottom right down here where it says disassembled 314K. I assume that is like a number of bytes of the server binary, and I'm pretty sure the server binary is a few megabytes big, so we might be waiting here for a while. Yeah, the server binary is 18 megabytes, so it's got a ways to go. All right, I'm back. It's been about 15 minutes on a pretty new processor trying to analyze this file, and we finally see it's doing some different analysis, and it looks like it's almost done. Oh, it's doing something else. It's doing something else. It's demangling. But yeah, the process takes, you can see if you check the clock at the top, I think we started around 11:03 and we're now at 11:18 p.m. It takes quite a bit of time and we're probably still not done. I have no idea how much is left, so we'll sit and wait some more. When I do this in IDA, I feel like it takes less than a minute, or it takes about a minute, maybe a couple of minutes. And a lot of it is actually ready for analysis before the entire auto analysis is completed. It just doesn't let you do certain functions until it's completely done. Whereas in Ghidra, I think a lot of stuff isn't quite ready. Like we don't have the ability to look up classes. Oh, we have the ability to look up classes. Cool. So I think it's getting really close to done. It's actually pre-decompiling, it looks like, a lot of stuff, so that might do a whole lot. And then one important thing to do once the analysis finishes is you want to make sure you save the binary at least once. If you save it, you will not have to deal with doing this auto analysis again the next time you load it up. Kind of similar to IDA, right? I'm going to go ahead and open up classes. I'm going to see if I can look at this while it's still in process. I have something I'm looking up currently that's under Nextbot Manager, and it's under Nextbot Manager. So over here on the left side, you get the symbol tree, and you can actually look up classes instead of just symbols. So I'm looking for on character vomited upon, and here we can see we have, this is Nextbot Manager on character vomited upon, and we have the disassembled view right here, and we have the decompiled view right here, all without paying $1. Wow. So as you can see, we get pretty good decompilation. It probably has some advantages and disadvantages over the Hex-Rays C decompilation, but I think it looks pretty good, and there's some stuff you can do to make it even better. You can do all the standard, like renaming variables, changing function signatures, things like that. So just a pretty quick intro of how to get your L4D2 Linux server binary analyzed in Ghidra. Thanks for watching. Peace.